What's going on, guys? Your boy King Red Diamonds, and I'm back for another Nioh 2 video. Today I'm going to continue on with the pro tip series, and I'm going to talk about um, pretty much build making. And I know a lot of people are excited about that, but don't be too excited because you're probably not going to like what I have to say about it. But before I get into it, I ask you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I thank you all so much for the support. Keep on, hitting me up and ask me questions. I love helping you guys out and answering you guys' questions. If anything I tell you is not clear or you need a little bit more explanation, just let me know and I will definitely get to it. But without further ado, we're gonna get right into it. And thank you guys so much. Now, again, talking about build crafting. Um, in this game, a lot of people want to make builds. That's their main focus. They want to get builds and they want to become OP and they want to become super strong and just one-shot bosses all day long. You do not need to worry about a build until you are at least in dream. Excuse me. Until you are at least in dream of the demon. Now you may ask, what is that? Nioh has 5 different difficulties. You have Dream of the Samurai, which I'm in right now, which is your very first region that which is the very first difficulty you're gonna play. Basically, when you first start the game, you're gonna automatically start off in Dream of the Samurai. This is your first difficulty. This is in essence a tutorial. You do not really have to worry about this part of the game. This is just to get you accustomed to the game. This is to help you out with fighting different types of enemies and letting you know, okay, this is what it's going to be like, and these are who you're going to fight. So get used to their, attack patterns and all that good stuff. Okay, so Dream of the Samurai is the first difficulty that you will play. The next difficulty is going to be Dream of the Strong. Dream of the Strong is known as New Game Plus. This is where the difficulty ramps up a little bit, and it also becomes a little bit more difficult, but it's still not as tough as it will be once you get later game. When you get here, this is actually when the real game actually starts, okay? So Dream of the Samurai is a tutorial. Dream of the Strong is technically where the game truly begins, all right? After Dream of the Strong, you have Dream of the Demon. Now we're getting into, okay, now the game's getting a little tougher. You might want to start going into making your build about now, okay? Now you're like, why do I have to wait all the way into this difficulty? I will get to that, so just wait on it. But after Dream of the Demon, you have Dream of the Wise, and then you have Dream of the Nioh. In Dream of the Nioh, this is late game. This is end game content. This is where, the difficulty is the hardest. This is where it really gets tough, and it's like, okay, like now I need to start, now I need to have a set build that's going to carry me all the way up until I get to Underworld, because Underworld unlocks once you are in Dream of the Nioh, okay? So those are your difficulties. So again, Dream of the Samurai, Dream of the Strong, Dream of the Demon, Dream of the Wise, Dream of the Nioh. All right? So now I'm going to go back to what I told you before. Dream of the Demon is where you want to start making your build. Why, you ask? Because after you've beaten Dream of the Strong, after you've beaten Otakimaru in the Afterglow region, in the Eye of the Beholder mission right here, after you've beaten this mission right here in Dream of the Strong, you will get a drop what is known as a Yasakani Magatama, which is this one right here. This item right here is literally necessary for making a build, especially in this part of the game. Like around this part of the game, you're going to get into New Game Plus. This item is by far the most necessary item in the beginning of basically in the beginning of the newer difficulties to make yourself a build. A lot of people always ask me, what is a good build to run early game? There is no good build to run early game because you cannot run one. There's no point in having one. Another reason why it's no point in having one is because of the level of your gear. The level of your gear increases as you progress in the game. There's absolutely no reason for you to want to make a build when the level of gear you're going to get in the next level will be higher than the gear that you have currently. So say Say that you are in Dream of the, say you've beaten Dream of the Samurai, right? You've already beaten this, you got an afterglow, you beat Otakimaru, and now you're going on to Dream of the Strong, and you're thinking, all right, now I want to make a build. So now you take on the Awakening region, right? Once you move to the Soaring region, you're going to get higher level gear. So say you make a build right here in this region, and you're like, all right, I got a build finally, I'm good, blah, blah, blah. Once you come here, your gear is going to be outdated already. Once you come to this region right here, the gear you get will be more powerful than the gear you already have on. So not only have you wasted your gold and your materials, you wasted your time trying to grind out a build when it's already obsolete. That's why I say don't rush making a build in this game. It's no point, because literally you're going to get more powerful gear as you play. So you making a build early in the game won't matter, because the gear that you get, the gear that's gonna drop in the regular world drops will be more powerful than the gear that you already have on. So literally it's absolutely no point for you to even think about making a build until you beat in Dream of the Strong. Because once you beat Dream of the Strong, again, when you beat Otakimaru in Afterglow, he guaranteed drops a Yasakani Magatama. You cannot get a Yasakani Magatama anywhere. You cannot get it anywhere before Dream of the Strong Afterglow region. You cannot get it anywhere else. You cannot get it in Dream of the Samurai at all. There's no way a Yasakani will drop a Dream of the Samurai. Now, there is a way for it to drop outside of beating Otakimaru in the final mission, and that is basically lucking up and just having God's luck, basically, by it dropping in the regular world as basically like an item. So like if you go up to like a dead body or something, and you basically collect the Emerita on it, and it gives you like an item drop, there's a chance that it'll drop a Yasakani, but it's a lot lower than just beating Otakimaru in the final region and getting a guaranteed Yasakani drop. Okay, so that's why every time someone asks me what's a good early game build, I always tell them, don't worry about that. Don't worry about the early game build. It's okay. Once you get into a later game, that's when you can start making the build. Okay. And honestly, a lot of people nowadays have it a lot easier than we did when the game first came out, because you have access to the DLCs and the newer difficulties now, as opposed to having to wait for them to come out when we first got the game. So you don't have to worry about crafting a build or putting a build together at all until you even have a Yasakani. That's your main goal. That should be your main goal whenever you are playing this game. Get a Yasakani as soon as possible. Okay? Don't worry about anything else. You don't have to worry about farming. You don't have to worry about, fighting a boss over and over and over and over again to get the drops on the boss that you want. Don't worry about that. Just get yourself a Yasakani and then worry about getting a build. That's why I said wait till you get the Dream of the Demon. Once you get a Dream of the Demon, you can start making a build, and it'll be a lot easier for you to put one together because you have your Yasakani for one. Not to mention, in Dream of the Demon, that's when you start to get divine gear, which is this green color gear right here that you see. So you see how it says divine or below, and this green, that's when you can start making your builds. When you get to Dream of the Demon. Dream of the Demon will start dropping divine gear, and all divine gear come with graces on them. Okay? All divine gear come with graces on them. Divine gear will be your go-to. Okay? Any piece of gear can drop with a divine grace on it. Any piece. Rather than trying to come into the blacksmith and you try to forge a certain armor piece, like say you can only, most of the time you're only going to be able to get stuff like this. This is terrible. This is a bad build. You don't want to use this. You don't want to waste your materials and your gold on this, because not only are you going to waste your materials and gold, it's going to be really expensive for you to even put this together. Because not only do you have to buy it and forge it, you have to have good enough luck for it to become a certain piece of gear that you want. Right? We have to have a good amount of luck, because as you can see at the top, it gives you percentages on what are the chances of that gear being a high rarity or not. So say you don't have enough materials, or you say you don't have a lot of gold. You could spend all your money on just a headpiece, and now you don't even have a chest, arm or leg piece to even put on. which is another reason why I say don't worry about build crafting. Don't worry about making a build until you get into at least this difficulty. It's no point. You will literally run out of all your money, and now you're upset because you can't even temper your stuff. Because that's going to happen. That's going to be part of it as well. You have to temper the gear. You have to make sure that the stats are strong now. Not only do you have your, say you do have luck and you have your gear, now you have to temper. And there's no guarantee that you're going to get the rolls and the special effects on the gear that you want. So don't even worry about it. Get your Yasakani, come into Dream of the Demon, and then start making your build. Okay. Do not worry about it before you've gotten your Yasakani, because there's absolutely no reason for you to even have to make it for you to make a build. It's no reason. So don't worry about it. But that's my main thing on making a build. You don't have to worry about, making a build early game. Wait till you get to Dream of the Strong, get your Yasakani after beating Otake Mao, come into Dream of the Demon, start it up, play through it, and then worry about your gear. The good thing about this game is that you can play missions over and over and over again. So if you're not getting the pieces of gear to drop that you want, just play the mission over. But don't go into the blacksmith and waste all your materials and all your money trying to make a build that's not even going to be strong when you get to this part of the game. Don't waste your time. It's a waste of time. I made that mistake myself when I first started out the game. When I wasn't even trying to make a build. I was just trying to make my gear as strong as possible. And I messed up by tempering weapons that I was literally going to get rid of the next region. Like I play Awakening, and I play the Awakening region. I get a sword that I like, so I take it to the blacksmith. I temper some good special effects on it. I'm like, oh yeah, this sword is really going to be really strong. I get to the soaring region. That sword is obsolete now because now I just got an even better sword, and not strictly because of its special effects, but because of its level. Say my sword was level 50, I go to the soaring region. Now I gotta have level 60 sword. In my mind, obviously level 60 is better than 50, right? So why would I not use the level 60 sword? Even if I did temper this, it's still the stats aren't even stronger. Even if it's tempered, but the stats aren't even stronger because the level is higher. It's no point in you wasting your time trying to make a build early game. Wait till you've gotten later on in the game. Wait till you get your Yasakani. Don't try to make a build early game. You'll regret it. I promise you, you will. But that's pretty much what it is. That's pretty much it on the making a build portion. Like that's why I said a lot of you probably won't like this, but it's the truth. You don't want to make a build early game. You want to wait. You want to be patient. That's what makes this game fun. Being patient is going to reward you in the end because you're going to be OP. You're going to have that super strong one-shotting build that you want to make, but you have to be patient. You have to make sure that you're pretty much using what the game gives you. Don't try to force the game to give you a build because then you're going to be shit out of luck basically. So make sure that you're taking your time. Make sure that you're going through all the levels. Make sure that you're pretty much equipping your higher level gear. Don't try to make a build and then use your materials and then you pretty much now your build is lower level than the regular world drop that you didn't even spend money on. All right, cool. So we're gonna go into a little bit more in depth with what I was talking about in terms of like blacksmithing and stuff, okay, and pretty much farming and grinding. Now, when you come to the blacksmith, you have a whole bunch of different options, okay? I'm not going to go over them individually because the game pretty much does a decent job of telling you what everything does. If you press triangle, go to dialogue, go to I want to know more. It literally tells you everything you need to know about the blacksmith, so I don't need to get into any of that stuff. It's right here. If you do need more of an explanation, just hit the comment section and I will try my best to give you a better explanation if this isn't good enough for you. But when you're coming into the blacksmith and you want to make yourself like later on in the game, or if you just feel as though you can't wait and you want to come over to forging, I'm promising you, you don't want to do this. But if you want to come over here, this is where you pretty much can make your build. You come over here, all the weapons that you have pretty much acquired in game will show up here. They cost a certain amount and they all have different stats on them that you can pretty much go through and look at. Obviously, they don't have any stats on them at all because you haven't forged them. So I'm just going to forge a piece of gear and then boom, now I have a piece of gear. It comes with randomized stats on them. I've used my materials. I paid for it. Boom. Now I have a piece of gear, right? All right. So now I come down to armor. You can forge each individual piece of armor, and it'll pretty much again come with randomized stats. Now, um, this is by far the most costly and worst way to make a build, especially since the game added graces in. So again, I don't recommend this at all. But if you want to, this is where you come to forge your build. Head pieces, chest pieces, arm pieces, legs, and feet. This is pretty much where you come. Next, you get into soul matching. Again, I'm not going to explain this in depth because the game pretty much does a pretty decent job of telling you. But soul matching is where you pretty much make your gear more powerful by fusing it and combining it with another piece of gear. Um, that's pretty much it. You don't have to worry about it. Again, don't recommend. Tempering. Tempering. Now, this right here, this is probably the most important thing when making a build. This is basically how you get your weapons to look like this. This is where you come. So when you want your weapon to look like this and have all these super crazy stats and effects on them, you come to tempering. So you click on the weapon you want, and on the right side, it'll show you all the different effects in which can roll on this weapon. Obviously, you cannot get all of those effects on the weapon. So what you do is you click on the slot you want to change it to. Boom. So I have attack bonus courage right here. I click on this. It comes over to the right, and I shuffle down, and I say, all right, well, I want corruption accumulation. So I'll click X, and I'll click yes, and it'll change that attack bonus courage to corrupted accumulation. But as you can see, I have to have a certain amount of Umbersight, quality Umbersight, Fable Umbersight, and Divine Umbersight in order to use it. Now, if you don't have any regular Umbersight, basically, you can use Divine, Fable, or Quality Umbersight to change this special effect. I don't recommend it unless you're a late game, but you can do that. Now, you can use Divine Umbersight to get these stats over here, but you cannot use regular Umbersight to get these stats down here. Doesn't work that way. In order to get these, you need Divine Umbersight. In order to get these, you need Fable Umbersight or higher. In order to get these, you need Quality Umbersight or higher. In order to get these, you need regular Umbersight or higher. But if you try to use if you don't have any quality, fabled, or divine Umbersight, this entire section right here will be blacked out because you cannot use these special pieces of gear. You cannot use these special effects, okay? But this is basically the most important place in the blacksmith to basically make your builds, min-maxed and super strong and powerful, okay? Tempering. Next, we come to remodeling. Remodeling is basically another way to make your gear even more powerful. This will allow you to focus a certain stat on your weapon. What I mean by that is if I come over here, I click the weapon I want, as you can see, every single weapon has 3 different stats that it scales with. I can switch the stat that it mainly scales with by using the remodel feature, okay? Right now it's on standard, right? So standard, the left side is remodeled, the right side is standard. That's what a regular sword looks like. A regular sword scales basically with the B, D plus, and C plus in those stats. Now you're probably looking like, wait, I thought does a sword scale with heart? It does, but because I have the special effect of transform bonus courage on it, my sword scales with courage instead of heart. So that's why it looks that way. But just act like attack bonus courage is heart. Whenever you have a regular sword, your regular sword will say attack bonus heart, attack bonus strength, and attack bonus skill. It'll have a B plus in heart, a D plus in strength, and a C plus in skill. That is the standard way it looks. If I go down to specialization 1, that's where you can see both of the strength and skill stats are now switched to D and D plus, meaning that now I get a bigger boost to my sword if I mainly focus on the courage stat. Okay? If I come down to specialization 2, now I get a bigger boost on strength instead of courage because courage goes down and strength goes up, right? If I go to specialization 3, attack bonus skill is now my main stat. So this is where you come to pretty much make your weapon fit the stats that you want to run, okay? That's how you that's how you get your weapon to be like to its max potential, by remodeling its main stat that you want to use, okay? That's pretty much it. Outside of that, nothing else really matters. You don't really ever need to come here. I don't ever come here for any of this stuff. I've never come here for any. Only thing I come here for is Book of Reincarnations. That is absolutely it. I do not buy any of this stuff at all because you don't need to. You will literally get all this stuff to drop for you in the real world. If you come here to buy any of this stuff, I promise you, you're not a very smart person. I'm just gonna be 100% with you. Do not come to this place to buy any of this. Do not. I. You can tell in the frustration in my voice. If you ever come here and buy any of this stuff, don't play this game. Do not buy anything from here. Do not buy anything from here. The only thing you may even want to buy is Book of Reincarnation. That is absolutely it. Do not buy anything from here. It's no point. It is a waste of your money. Don't do it. Now, don't sell anything unless you are selling these. Okay? Tea sets. You can sell tea sets and you can sell accessories. Do not sell gear. Do not sell any of this stuff at all. Don't sell it. It's no point. You don't have a reason. I mean, you can sell this, but like, you don't like. Look, I don't even get that. I probably don't even get that much. I don't even get that much back for it. I got 40. Like, you don't need to sell this. But these right here, these fetch you a very hefty. Look how much I sell these for. These will fetch you a very hefty price. Same with your accessories. Accessories fetch you a pretty decent price. These fetch you more, but you can't disassemble these, so you have no choice but to sell these here or give them to the shrine. Other than that, you don't need to sell anything. You don't need to buy anything. This is useless. Don't come here at all. It's no point. Do not come here. Okay. I just want to stress it. Don't do it. Don't. That's a humongous no. Don't do that. All right. But that's pretty much it. Um, that's my advice on build making. Don't do it until you get into at least Dream of the Demon. Get your yasakani from Dream of the Strong, go into Dream of the Demon, then start worrying about your build. Okay? That's when graces come into effect. Now, I'm not going to go over graces in this video because I don't want this video to be too long. I will go on graces in the next video, so don't worry. Stay tuned for that. I will go over that. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. King Red Diamonds, I'm out.